Hi guys, welcome to the next episode of the Bravo Lima podcast. Okay, so as you've seen, Rosenior, the Chelsea manager, he's no longer the Chelsea manager, sacked after a very few amount of games, been in the job 3 months. Wow, I'm not surprised. It's not a massive shock. The owners at Chelsea Football Club are terrible, if you ask me. Awful. I don't believe for a second they should be in charge of that football club at all. Some of the appointments. You can go back to Enzo Maresca. He wasn't a bad he wasn't a bad manager at all. Getting rid of Tuchel though was insane. That was ridiculous. But the things that have happened there, some of the decisions that have been made are insane. Now, what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to go back really pre-Rosenior. I think this video is obviously about Rosenior and about what's going to happen moving forward. Now, Rosenior, for those who don't know, was brought in from Strasbourg in France. It was a club that is owned by the same owners as Chelsea. Maybe it was natural progression. Maybe it was looked at as he did an alright job there. So maybe he could do something at Chelsea. By my recollection, though, at Strasbourg, he joined them when they were 10th and left them 10th. So it wasn't as if he took them from 10th to title winners, 10th to Champions League. It was, he went there, did an okay job, did the same job as the previous manager, and got handpicked for Chelsea. I do think the ball wanted somebody to boss about. I do feel that way. I feel like the ball wanted someone to shout and scream at, and I think he took it. If you look though, Chelsea haven't scored a goal since their hammering of Port Vale in the cup. Chelsea Football Club, not one goal, not a win, not a draw. They've lost the last 5, I believe it is, without scoring a goal. Ridiculous. It's very unlike the club. Very, very much. Now, yeah, he deserved to be sacked. He's obviously going to get a bit of a payoff. I believe he won't get much. It's a lot, but not as much as what it would have been if he'd have stuck out his contract or gone a bit longer. Now, I believe he's going to get about 4 or 5 million, if I'm right, compared to the 24 million that he would have got a couple of years later if he was sacked. Now, what this video was about for me was about who's next. Who is going to be the next Chelsea boss? Now, as you've seen, I did take a screenshot of Sky Sports News, their voting for the next Chelsea boss. I stuck my vote in there and I went for Fabregas. I think that would be brilliant. I think he's done an amazing job at that small little club in Italy. They're, I believe, top 4 now, doing really, really well. Como, a very, very good team. They've got money, but obviously they haven't got a reputation. They can't really bring in big name players as such. So he's doing it with quite a minimal squad in regards to names, but they're a talented bunch and doing really well. Now, I think Fabregas, not necessarily because of what he can do, but also because of his drive and his ability, and I think he needs that chance, certainly. Now, it's risky, though. Now, see, that, for me, is very, very risky. They've done this with Rosenior. They've obviously given him a chance. It's not worked out. For me, yes, Fabregas would be a good idea. I'm not a Chelsea fan, so, I do think it's a good idea. I think what probably should happen is they bring in a guy with experience, somebody who's so used to the running of the club, so used to the fans, the fan base, what it takes to be a Chelsea player. I think that's why, if you look on the voting, Jose Mourinho once again, he takes up most of the voting. Now, Mourinho for a 3rd time, why not? He's a quality manager. The fans will love him back. He knows how to spend money. He knows how to whip a team up, and I think he will get them certainly back into Champions League, challenging for the title. That sort of job. Now, A couple of friends of mine are Chelsea fans. We've had the conversation about Fabregas. We've had the conversation about Xavi Hernandez. Yeah, Xavi Hernandez. For those who don't know him as a manager, he was the Barcelona captain for years in midfield. I didn't have too much of a bad job. I didn't do too much of a bad job. Sorry, in Barcelona as manager. And then I believe he went out to Qatar. Now, again, the problem is he's inexperienced. He's just starting out. I think you pick any of them that are on that list, I think you've got a good shout, certainly. But you've got to pick the right one. Chelsea cannot afford to get this wrong again. Now, some of the names I've heard banded about, they're not on that list there. Frank Lampard, why would he? He's at Coventry, done a great job. He's gotten promoted. That's it. He's going to be in the Premier League next season, but with Coventry. Another name that's on there, Marco Silva. I do think that is a shout. I really do. Marco Silva is a good manager. I think he's either going to be. I think he leaves Fulham this year, at the end of the season, definitely. I think that Chelsea might be a bit of a step up for him, or too much of a big step up for him, maybe. But again, he either takes that step up in England, or he will go somewhere else. He will go to one of the bigger teams, in Germany, Spain, Italy. He'll get that job, and I think that Chelsea may miss out if they don't go for him now. Andoni Areola, obviously Bournemouth boss, he's announced that he won't be staying at Bournemouth. Again, is that an issue? He's a good manager, a very, very, very good manager at Bournemouth. It's a club that if they got relegated tomorrow, yes, it'd be a bit upsetting. They've been great in the Premier League, but would it be a massive shock? No, it wouldn't for me. They are quite they overachieve every season for me. Now, for a manager of that ilk to go to Chelsea, where overachieving right now will be to win the league, there's not much room there for failure, really, and that, I think, is going to weigh heavily on him. I mean, I look back at the likes of Roy Hodgson years ago, obviously being a Liverpool fan. We took him from Fulham. It was the LMA Manager of the Year. He got Fulham to the UEFA Cup final. He'd done really well with Fulham, and then he came to Liverpool and proved that he wasn't that calibre of manager. That, he had no idea how to spend money in the market, and he bought the likes of Paul Konchesky to play for Liverpool. It says it all. I think Chelsea need somebody who's going to steady the ship. I think in an ideal, perfect world, I think Mourinho would come in for a couple of years, re-steady the ship, let Fabregas go to do what he's going to do, what he's doing now, okay, and build that project a bit further, then go back for Fabregas in a couple of years. Mourinho's not going to stay there. He's not going to put up with the owners. He barely coped under Abramovich, so he's not going to cope with these. But he goes in, maybe wins an FA Cup, League Cup, something like that. Puts another trophy in the hands, in the hands of the players there. Buys some quality players. Mourinho knows how to spend money. He's also ruthless as well. Can get rid of players, drop of a hat. But no, I think Mourinho, a couple of years, Fabregas for the future, 100%. Guys, let me know what you think. I appreciate everything up to now. You've been great. Stay tuned to find out what the next episode is going to be about. That will be put together a little bit later on, and we'll do a little bit of teasing throughout the week, ready for next Friday. Guys, thank you very much for your time. Have it.